And our fifth main topic today gets submitted to us by Derek. And Derek writes, Happy St. Patrick's Day. I totally forgot today was St. Patrick's Day. I hope you're wearing your green. I am, I'll just say I'm wearing green underwear. How's that?
Green eyes.
Hope you guys are wearing your green. Anyway, I remember a while ago on the show, you guys debated if Doctor Strange would be the new leader of the Avengers. Well, according to Benedict Cumberbatch, he won't be because he's not even an Avenger, even though he has and will continue to team up with them. What do you think of his statement, and who do you think will eventually be the leader of the Avengers? All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Derek. And unfortunately, no green today. I totally forgot. Maybe I should wear something green later today. Anyway, this is a big question that has been floating around. Now, obviously, since Avengers Endgame, a lot of questions about the nature of the Avengers, the makeup of the Avengers, who's in it, the status of the Avengers has been a big question, and something that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has not addressed. They haven't addressed it in Spider-Man Far From Home, which came out after Endgame. They didn't address it in WandaVision or Loki or Falcon and the Winter Soldier or the new Spider-Man No Way Home. It hasn't, but the Avengers have been, in Hawkeye, the Avengers have been referenced, but no real mention of what is the status of the Avengers. Are they even a team still with whoever is still remaining? And the question that pertains to this topic that a lot of people have asked is Doctor Strange now the leader of the Avengers? Or do the Avengers even have a leader? And that's a topic of conversation. I've seen a lot of feeds and in a lot of threads, people talking about this. Well, apparently, we don't have a lot of answers about the nature of the Avengers right now, but it does seem that we can say this. The Avengers leader is not Doctor Strange, because apparently Doctor Strange isn't even a member of the Avengers. He's not an Avenger. This comes to us from the folks, this comes to us actually directly from Benedict Cumberbatch, who said the following. People say that you were in the Avengers, but you're not an Avenger, right? No, I'm not. I'm not at Tony Stark Tower with Nick Fury. No, he's sort of outside of that realm. But I don't think that's necessarily a character trait. I think that is just a job title. He's there to protect the reality of the Avengers in a different way to what they have been fighting up until the point that everything collides in the last two Avengers movies. So he holds his position as an adult on the periphery of that. But I think only for so long. There's always a moment where he has to work with people and team up. And we might see that in the next film. You have to wait and see. Oh, Benedict. Let me read that last part again. And we might see that in the next film. Who knows? We'll have to see. You teaser. Teasing us about what we may or may not see in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness 2. Of course, according to sources, everybody is going to be in the movie. Everybody's going to be making a cameo.
Including Ray.
Yep. Ray Aura.
I'm in there.
He's going to play Wong's younger brother.
Yeah. I'm going to be Dong.
He's going to be Dong. Right? It's going to be casting spells.
The donger needs food.
I'm going to make an appearance in Rob's Star Wars 2 as Dong. Let's do it.
Okay.
Ding dong, baby.
I got somebody you can call.
No. Let's keep going here. So yes, everybody's going to be appearing in that movie. Everybody's going to be there, but apparently ain't going to be him. Now look, what he said here, we understand. For the record, in no movie in the MCU has it ever been said that Doctor Strange is an Avenger. As far as I know, they've never said that. He's never been a part of the team.
Well, in Infinity War, he's not. I mean, he goes and gets Tony Stark, and they'd never even met.
Yeah. They just fight alongside of each other.
Yeah.
So, we need to get you.
When Ebony Maw attacks, New York, they're fighting, and Tony Stark's like, he's a wizard.
Yeah. Don't embarrass me. You're embarrassing me in front of the wizard, man. That's one of my favorite lines where he's talking to Banner.
Now, I have to say that I don't care what anyone says. The first half an hour of Avengers Infinity War is one of my favorite things ever. Ever.
Oh, it's great.
Ever. I love it so much.
I mean, it is great. I mean, it's not my favorite comic book movie of the year.
No, but I mean, just the
that
whole, when they
opening.
fight in New York, I mean, there's something so quintessential. I never thought of all the Avengers stuff, just their interplay, the fact that they're, the way Tony Stark is being so revered by Spider-Man, that they're getting their asses thrown all over New York. It's okay, Mr. Stark. I mean, it's just everything about it's the best. I love it.
It's
all the
super
way
good.
up to the point where Spider-Man gets his new armor and gets in the ship, and I think I've watched that probably 50 times. That first half an hour.
To me, it's the best part. It's the best part.
It's just so good.
So here we have him saying, look, there is this separation, but you are going to see Doctor Strange working with them. And I think that's key because, like, when they were doing promo for Shang-Chi, one of the things in the Marvel marketing was meet the newest Avenger, right? Clearly telling us that Shang-Chi is going to be...
In the comics, Shang-Chi's been an Avenger.
Right. The comics are different than the thing, but
Yeah.
They're said actually for the movies, promoting the movie, meet the newest Avenger. And so we know he's going to be a part of the Avengers at some point moving forward. But such claims have never been made. Now, a lot of people still assume any hero in the MCU is an Avenger. We were just talking about Moon Knight, and people saying, well, Moon Knight's going to be Avenger, and this person's an Avenger, and this person, but are they? And that's what Benedict brings up. It brings up a question is, just because a character is a hero and in the MCU, does that mean anything? Does that actually mean they're a part of the Avengers? Yes or no? So it does bring up then the further question, Rob. If Doctor Strange is not the de facto leader of the Avengers moving forward, like Cap was, well, Cap and Tony do agree, were the leaders, they were the figureheads of the Avengers. If they're not it anymore, who is it? Now, some people have said, well, it's got to be Spider-Man, because he's the most popular character. But it absolutely, in no reality in the multiverse, could it be Spider-Man. Nobody in the Avengers, whoever is in the Avengers at this point, is taking their lead and orders from a teenager. They're just not.
They don't know he's a teenager. Not anymore.
Well, yeah, not anymore. Now nobody does. But they're not taking their marching orders from a guy who just came on the scene recently,
Right.
And is what he is. I mean, they're just not. First year college student? Yeah, I don't think so. You think Rhodey, an Air Force captain, is going to take combat orders from a kid? Ain't gonna happen. So no, Spider-Man is not gonna be the leader of the Avengers in any way, shape, or form. And that's fine. He shouldn't be. But then who is it? I mean, on some levels, it kind of should be Rhodey. I mean, he is the most senior, the most experienced. He's been on the Avengers fighting with Tony for a long, long time. So there's that option. Then you've got Sam. I mean, Sam carries Steve's shield now, and he's also a longtime military guy. So he's in there too. Some people say in the live chat, Purple Queen is saying, Mary Poppins, y'all. Mary Poppins should be the leader of the Avengers at this point. So who are our realistic options here? It can't be Wanda. I mean, that's obviously a disqualification right there. So it can't be Wanda. I think Rhodey is a possibility. I think Sam is a possibility.
Kate Bishop.
Right.
Right.
Kate Bishop totally makes as much sense as Spider-Man. Who was I about to say? I think Hawkeye is a legitimate, he's a lot of experience, operative. He is an OG Avenger. He's been and seen it all. So he's an option. Who else would be? And I want to throw another name out there. Might sound weird. White Vision. Vision, now again, comics are the comics, the movies are the movies. Vision has been the leader of the Avengers in the comics. And this Vision is a reflection of the original Vision. So that might take some time to build trust. I'll say that's a dark horse. I'll say White Vision is a dark horse in that race. But I don't know, Rob, first of all, what do you think about...
There's Thor.
There's Thor, but is he on Earth enough
Right,
to
I
do
know,
that, right?
I know.
So, but let me ask you, what do you think about Benedict's comments here? And then ultimately, if he's not the leader of the Avengers, where does that lead us? Who's going to kind of be that new face that Steve and Tony kind of were of the Avengers moving forward? And who could fill that role? And who do you think was disqualified?
I think many people I think it's going to be Sam Wilson. I think it's going to be the new Captain America, at least for the time being. If, John, there's even an Avengers team.
Well, we talked before about, remember, Kevin Feige made that comment where he kind of referred to Endgame as the final Avengers film. Now, that might have just been semantics, but that is out there.
I mean, I currently don't think there is an Avengers team. The Avengers defeated Thanos, saved the world, brought people back from the blip. Tony Stark was destroyed. The Avengers aren't being funded. Remember, the Avengers really broke apart during the Civil War. They never came back together, not really, until after the blip happened. And then you had kind of the Avengers came back as a team to sort of put the world back together. But then when they, in defeating Thanos, I mean, you lost 3 of your main members. You lost Black Widow, who was leading the Avengers. You lost Captain America, and you lost Tony Stark. So I would say there is no Avengers team right now at all. And so I think the question of who's leading the Avengers is sort of moot until we find out what would an Avengers team even look like, because they don't have their heavy hitters. They've lost. I mean, Thor's off doing what Thor does with the Guardians and with Love and Thunder, whatever that means, and God, Gore the God Butcher and all that. So there really is no Avengers team, which, by the way, leaves Earth vulnerable. But we've got cosmic characters that maybe we haven't seen yet. So right now, I don't even think there's somebody other than the obvious Captain Marvel.
Well,
can lead the Avengers.
That's what I was going to bring up next, is that a lot of people have kind of mentioned Captain Marvel, because again,
she's led the Avengers, obviously.
Yeah, she's led the Avengers. She was very prominent in Civil War II. But again, comics are the comics, movies are movies. But let's look down the resume. Military background. So, I mean, that's top notch there. Intergalactic experience. So she is a human on Earth with military experience. She knows the galactic landscape better than anybody other than maybe Thor or the Guardians of the Galaxy. She is, Kevin Feige has referred to her as the most powerful. Although I mean, that's got to come into question with once they revisit Hulk, and once they look at revisit Hulk and Wanda, exactly how, but then again, is Wanda even a hero anymore? That we don't know. We'll have to find that out. But I think you got to make a strong case for Captain Marvel being the leader of the Avengers.
Well, I think right now she's the only person who can even step up to be an Avenger. Maybe an Avenger of one, because who else? But I do think, I do think that they could rally, Carol Danvers could rally the troops and bring back the remaining heroes and form a new Avengers team if one is called for. But the thing is, remember, the Avengers Initiative served its purpose. So maybe as far as the MCU is concerned, we're going to be looking elsewhere, whether it's the Illuminati, whether it's the Fantastic Four, whether it's the X-Men.
Well, I mean, also, but don't forget, too, that through all these, while they haven't mentioned the status of the Avengers have been consistently referenced. Like, how about the Avengers? So it seems like in the MCU right now, it is known that the Avengers are still a thing. They're just not giving us any specifics.
Yeah, but I think people don't understand that they aren't anymore. I mean, there really isn't, because even in Falcon and Winter Soldier, it was like okay, we're done. The Avengers is done. Falcon, Captain America is now back to being a solo artist. He's Robert Plant after he left the Led Zeppelin. After Led Zeppelin lost Robert Plant, he formed other bands.
After Peter Gabriel left Genesis, after Phil Collins left Genesis,
the Honey Drippers. The Honey Drippers.
Was that the name of them? The Honey Drippers?
Yeah, I think. Well, that was one of his bands. But that's kind of what I think. Like, to me, if Led Zeppelin was the Avengers of rock bands, and then you had Robert Plant kind of leave.
Well, technically, the Traveling Wilburys were the Avengers of rock bands. I mean, I just want to throw that out there. A lot of people are like, the Traveling what? Go look it up. Actually, I want to ask Ray this, though. Ray, who should be the next leader of the Avengers? He's thinking.
I'm thinking if it's not Nick Fury. I mean, you mean just on the team, the actual team that goes out?
Yeah, who's the leader there? I mean, and by the way, that is a name we haven't discussed. It's just Nick Fury himself.
Nick Fury could
he's
be.
clearly still in a command position. He's referenced in No Way Home saying, what do they refer to? Director Fury is currently on whatever. So,
and he did put the team together in the first place.
He is the guy who put it together.
I'm thinking that Monica girl is going to take over.
Monica Rambeau?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to see her in The Marvels, right? So we'll see what kind of role she plays there. Again, military background, but she was blipped for a long time, but still military background. She's a legacy character. I mean, that's possible.
And she's been an Avenger.
But right now I see Falcon being the leader.
Yeah, you see Sam being the leader?
That's my obvious pick. My long shot, or what I would want, would be Blade.
Blade is the leader of the Avengers. I think the three most likely, because they have the resume, they have comic background. I think it's Rhodey, Sam, or Carol. I think those are your three most likely to be next if they do have an Avengers thing.
But then there's people we haven't like Cersei's been an Avenger.
Well, yeah.
Black Knight has been an Avenger. So those are two potential.
But these are characters that have no exposure. Like the world doesn't even know them yet. So I don't know anybody would trust them to be the leader of the Avengers at this point. So I don't know. It's an interesting question. Guys, the question then comes for you. What do you think about, number one, Benedict Cumberbatch saying, look, let's just clear this up. I'm not the leader of the Avengers because I'm not even an Avenger. Doctor Strange ain't an Avenger. Well, if he ain't, because a lot of people thought he could be the leader of the Avengers, who should be leader of the Avengers? I mean, I personally think the top three candidates, because of their resumes and everything, are War Machine, the new Cap, and Captain Marvel. I think that makes the most sense, but maybe there's some other outside shot characters. What do you guys think about this? Whatever your thoughts are, jump on down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, ExpressVPN. Now, guys, does it make sense that the same company who controls half the online retail also passively eavesdrops on your private conversations at home? Or what about the idea that a single company controls 90% of the internet searches, runs your email service, and gets to track everything you do on your smartphone? You guys know that big tech is more powerful than most countries are, and they profit by exploiting your personal data. It's time to put a layer of protection between your online activity and these tech juggernauts, and that's why I use ExpressVPN. You see, when you run ExpressVPN on your device, the software hides your IP address, something that big tech companies can use to personally identify you. So ExpressVPN makes your activity harder to trace and sell to advertisers. ExpressVPN also encrypts 100% of your internet data to keep you safe from hackers and eavesdroppers on your network. So stop handing over your personal data to the big tech monopoly that mines your activity and sells your information. Protect yourself with a VPN that I trust to keep me safe online. Visit expressvpn.com/Campea. That's expressvpn.com/Campea to get 3 extra months free. Go to expressvpn.com/Campea right now to learn more.